Well, you join me somewhere a bit different this time. I am actually at my local park lake.
Oh no,
So I did see a little disturbance behind the island.
I'm happy with that. They're getting bigger, very slowly, but they are getting bigger. But the originals is what I'm after, and they may just not be in this area, I don't know.
And I saw 5 carp on the surface on the back of the island. Can you believe this? I've actually managed to get my first one from the park lake. I did see something on the island. Thought there was a chance, but again.
Really, I went down and thought it was going to be good. It was foggy, it was horrible, it was cold. I was actually going to give it only 10 more minutes, and then, yeah, then I finally got something.
Nothing, not even a bream so far, so so far that's a positive. Yes, got him in. The only thing I've had since then is I've had a couple of gulls come down and pick up the rig, which is great.
Oh! Welcome to smashing it up in the park. Saw a lot of activity out there when I first turned up. I thought might as well pull it out there, see what happens.
I'm pushing myself to try and get out more down here, so hopefully I'll be able to produce something decent anyway. 2 minutes has been in, 2 minutes. I can't believe it. I did actually think I had a bream on. Oh, what an amazing carp that was. I can't believe it. What a brilliant start as well. It's absolutely freezing in the moment, and this carp's absolutely freezing as well. Time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Well, you join me somewhere a bit different this time. I am actually at my local park lake, and I am planning on continue fishing here all through the summer and the autumn. I have fished it previously. Now, 2 years ago I did try and put a little campaign together and try and catch a carp from here. I didn't know much about the carp fishing in this lake. I didn't know huge amounts about what the fish were like, how many they were. I didn't know what other species were in here really. I've had 1 or 2 little goes maybe coarse fishing in this water in the past, and maybe caught the odd 1 or 2, but didn't know huge amounts about that either. So I didn't really know where to go or what to do. When I started that campaign last time, I really just had in mind just to catch a carp, just catch one, you know, and it took me a whole entire month, but eventually I did, and I was really happy with it. I did actually lose one as well, and also I lost one fishing, and I didn't film as well. So yeah, so I've had a couple of bites in the past from here. I did find a few things out last time, that they put some stockies in here, and also there's some originals in here. I didn't manage to get any of the originals. I think I just caught the stockies last time, but this time I'm after anything really. For catching the stockies or for catching an original, my goal is probably try and catch an original if I can, but if I can't, then as long as I can keep catching, that I'll be happy with that. I've already started to pre-bait now. The swim I'm actually in, and I've got ½ kilo on each spot that I'm going to be fishing today. I did that yesterday, and a couple of days before that I put about ½ kilo in as well. So I am starting to trickle in bait into this swim. I did have a little issue though, because I started baiting it and then I had to go off and film for Carp Basics, so I had to stop baiting. But I'm starting up again, and I'm planning on fishing just the mornings as well. The best time in this lake really is either the mornings or the late evenings, and I've just decided to do mornings. It's easy for me and my schedule, so I'm going to be baiting up every day and fishing it twice in a week. That's my plan anyway, and I'll just keep going with it until I catch something, or catch something decent really. This swim is a bit different from most other swims around this lake. Most of them are either platformed or they're quite wide and open. This one is a little dinky, little tight one, which is perfect because not many people can fit their bibs in and stuff like that, and maybe they might not look at it because not many people go into it. So what I have in the swim is I have a massive lot of trees to my left, and there's a huge amount of trees there, and they're all branches in the water. It's a proper massive snaggy area. And it looks like it's going to definitely hold carp. I mean, it must do. It's huge amount of snags there. There's loads of areas they can just hide underneath. That is probably going to be my banker spot. I think that's going to do me a bite on that spot. It's just so full of trees and snags. You just know that something's in there. I've also got to my left a little hanging tree. It's not that great. It's not the greatest spot in the world, but I thought I might try it, so I can just use 2 rods for now. The left hand rod is literally what I said, under the big hanging tree. It was pretty tricky to get round there. It's really hard and difficult to get through these trees, but I managed to do it. I'm actually fishing with a red lobster wafter on that one. It's off a sinking plastic corn because I don't want to add any more buoyancy to it, but I want that yellow fleck. I've also put some red lobster 15mm bottom baits over the top as well, just to match it really. And the right hand rod, I've just flicked it in front of this hanging tree. And on that one, I'm actually fishing with a chocolate orange 15mm white popper, so it's a bit different from the other one. It's a little bit more silty to my right, so that's why I've gone for a popper. And also I'm feeding over the top some 15mm walnut bottom baits, so I'm trying to match the hook baits, either match them completely or slightly match them. Right, both of them on Ronnie rigs with helicopter setups with 2-ounce leads because of it's very silty, this lake, and very, very snaggy, and I want to be able to present my hook bait on top of that as much as possible. So I've gone for helicopter rigs and I've pushed the bead up about 4 or 5 inches just so the lead can plug in and the hook bait can sit on top. I'm also only going to put in a handful to bait over each rod today, because I put half a kilo on each spot yesterday, so I'm not going to put huge amounts of bait in. I'm just hoping that the carp recognise that this is a baited spot and you know, come back at some point today. I'm only going to give it until sort of 11 or 12, so I'm only doing the morning. So yeah, I got down here really early so I could get into this spot, and I'm hoping it's going to pay off, pre-baiting and keep coming down here and keep trying. Well, as I'm in the park, it's really noisy. I can hear people walking their dogs, people shouting. Yeah, it's going to be pretty noisy around here. I'm sure I'm going to get people walking into my swim at some stage. So yeah, it's always a bit different. It's always a bit different when you're fishing apart from fishing like commercials and stuff. But you know, you just have to get used to it and get on with it. And you know, there's some nice looking carp in here. They're quite dark as well, so you know, just be nice to even catch one. I don't care if it's a stocky or anything, just be nice to catch something. Yeah, let's see if I do. Well, it's been an hour or two and nothing's really happened. It's pretty much what I expect really. It's going to be difficult fishing here. The lake is about 12 acres in size, and there's roughly about 80 carp in here as well, so that's not going to be easy at all to try and catch them. I did it before, and I'm sure I'll do it again. The positive thing at the moment is the spots on my left, with all the trees and everything. I had a little walk up just to see if there's anything feeding. There is a lot of bream in here, and I was kind of expecting to see a few of those, maybe eating some of the bait, or maybe just swimming around behind, and something spooked. Now, I don't think it was a bream. It definitely didn't seem bream-like. It seemed more like a carp, small one, but there is carp in the area. It's just behind where the spot is. There's quite a lot of trees and stuff in the water and things. It's just behind that. But it's positive at the moment. I'm only going to give it a couple more hours this morning, then I got to get back and get on with editing. I've got quite a lot to do at the moment, so I'm just trying to catch up with everything, and yeah, I'll be back again. I'm going to put some bait in when I leave, and then I'll probably put some bait in tomorrow, and then I'll probably have one more go and do another morning session this week, and then I'll see what happens really after that. I'm just going to keep going with it. Maybe if I don't get if I don't get anything at the end of these 2 morning sessions, I may start baiting up somewhere else and start fishing somewhere else. Just because if you start baiting up an area and you start catching, then you can sort of stick at that area. But if you haven't caught anything at all, even a little stocky little carp or something, then I'm not entirely sure if I will continue. I will have a little think about that. and really I need to come down and have a good look and check out some other spots. And I do know a few other spots. Obviously I fished it before. The swim that I caught previous, I could go back to and try again on there. It's good for at least one. So, but at the moment I haven't seen any on that area. Normally you see them boshing out on the far corner, on the far side. It's right down the end. At the moment I'm on like a really shallow, narrow part of the lake. They come up here in the summer, mostly come up here to spawn, but they've already done that, so they do hang around for a little bit longer. But as you start to get closer to autumn, they sort of back off here, and they're not so many up in this area, so then that becomes even harder. At the moment I'm not going to really do anything. I'm not going to bring them in. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. Maybe I'll try different baits as well next time. Maybe I'll mix it up. I don't know yet. But for this session I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing, sit here, and hopefully something happens. I wasn't expecting a huge amount for the first session, so but if I do catch anything, it'll be an extra bonus to start off this little venture. So yeah, I'm hoping that something happens. Hoping. Let's see. Well, that's the end of my first morning session on here. Nothing happened, but I wasn't expecting anything to happen on the first session. I did see carp, so that's a positive, I suppose. The only thing I managed to hook was when I put my rod in at the end, there was a log and some branches attached to it. So yeah, I caught a nice big log, but apart from that, nothing. Well, I'm definitely going to be back down soon. I'm going to keep pre-baiting, so hopefully then I'll catch. Let's see. Well, I'm back down for another park session. Got down pretty early. There was a nice mist on the water. It's meant to be really, really hot today, so I've actually decided to change my swims over and change to a swim that I know can do bites when it's really warm. Previously, when it was really hot and sunny, they were up in the shallows where I am now, just off an island. And they basically go from open water to the island, and you see them sunning themselves. And I don't know what's happened in the last 2 years. I don't know if anything's changed, but that's what they used to do anyway. Majority of them were the stockies. I did see the odd original, but all I caught was them little ones. I'm going to keep the other spot baited up, and I might go back again at some stage, but for the morning I'm in here. I put about ½ kilo in the other spot and ½ kilo on this spot, so I could decide what I was going to do this morning really, but because it was hot and warm, that's why I wanted to be here. Well, as soon as I walked into the swim and I saw something right in front, just suddenly its head come up and then it just sort of went away, and I was like, oh, that could be carp. That made me think, maybe I've made a really good choice here, maybe I'm in the right spot. When I came down to bait up, I forgot to bring a catapult or a throwing stick. So I had to throw it by hand, and it was a bit tricky to throw it towards the island where I wanted to bait up. Basically, I wanted to put bait in the channel, on and off the island in front of me, and a lot of it hit the tree that's in close and then just dropped right in front, and that is literally the spot that I saw the carp this morning on. So yeah, that is encouraging anyway, that it's fed on the spot or it's found those baits. A couple of things about this swim is the island's pretty close, so there is a bit of a channel as well, and the rest of it is pretty much open water. There is a massive branch which is about, I don't know, 15 foot from the island, and there is a huge massive rock underneath that as well. I've actually been snapped off at least once in that area, so as soon as I do get anything, I need to be on my toes and get it quickly, as far as I possibly can, to get it to go past a snag. I think that's my plan anyway, because before I pulled and I thought I could get it in and I didn't. So this time I'm actually planning on letting it go past the snag and trying to bring it around it into open water. well, we'll see about that anyway. That's if I get anything, that is. I've literally just put one underneath this little hanging tree in this margin, exactly where I saw that carp this morning, and the other one is about 3 to 4 foot off the island. It's pretty shallow up on that island. It's only about sort of 18 inches, so I want to come as far as I can from it, a little bit, as much as I can. It's a little bit deeper further out, but it's not huge amounts. Like I said, I want to get on the rods really quickly. I don't want to have it too far out. There's a snag there, so if I pull it even further along, I'm probably more likely to lose the fish instantly instead of actually having a little bit extra time to get it round it. So that's the reason I've done that, and also because the island obviously is a really good spot, and I've had bites there before, so I kind of know where to cast anyway. I have had a little issue with a coot already diving on my spot, so yeah, I'm not happy about that so far, and I've had a swan as well, so it's been great so far. They're both on the 15mm red lobster wafter, tipped off of a sinking plastic corn just to give it a visual colour, and I've put 15mm red lobsters over the top of each one. I've just put about, I don't know, about 2 handfuls. I haven't gone crazy with the bait because I put in quite a bit of bait yesterday. Also, when I was casting out my last rod, I actually spooked something in this margin to my right. I think it might have been a carp. So yeah, kind of interesting. I've had to wade out in this swim because it's very tricky to get round the corner, and that's where you want to be. So I've had to wade in, and I've had to put my rods in the water as well. Just looks more carpy really. It's looking nice. It's warming up pretty quick actually this morning. I'm just hoping that I can get something before it gets too hot, and then I'll probably call it after that, because there's no point in staying when it's red hot, because they're just not going to be bothered. They're just going to be sitting up in the middle of the lake doing nothing pretty much. So I'll see what happens. Yeah, like I said, I've been picked up by a coot already because he's diving on my spot, and I've had a swan diving around as well. They seem to have gone, the swans, but the coot is still here trying to dive on my spot already. He's back again, and he's dived again, so he's definitely seeing those red lobsters on the bottom. So I was really excited when I got into the swim, but for some reason my enthusiasticness of thinking I'm going to catch has sort of died down a little bit now. I'm not seeing as many disturbances and little bubbles, and I was seeing all that this morning and when I first turned up, and then I'm like half an hour into my session and I'm not seeing that now. Maybe because I was in the water wading around, maybe because I was casting and baiting up, maybe I spooked him a little bit, but I'm going to give it a good couple of hours and see what happens. So I'm kind of hopeful. So, you know, it's a tricky water. It will be really difficult. I'm going to try my hardest to try and catch from here, and I just want to catch at least one to start off with, and see what happens from there. And if I just keep catching stockies, then I'll keep catching them, and I'll just keep going until I can catch something bigger. But it would just be nice to start off the park fishing with at least one carp. Let's see. Well, it's been about 2 hours and nothing's happened at all. Haven't really seen huge amounts. I did see a little disturbance behind the island, but not enough to say if it was a carp or not. I did see something out in the open roll, but again, I wasn't sure. It might have been a bird. I did see a red fleck, but it could have easily been a bird, I don't know. Nothing really majorly happening. It's pretty quiet, pretty silent really. In the past, I came down here really early in the morning. You'd see carp washing out, and you'd see disturbances, increases, and them feeding on the island, and I haven't really seen any of that at all. There's a lot of people out walking their dogs. I could hear them shouting, yelling, and dogs barking and everything. So yeah, park fishing's great. Well, it's part of it, I suppose. You know, people walking around, people walking just swim, and you know, dogs barking, and it's the usual thing, really. I'm not going to do anything at all. I'm not going to bring them in or anything, or recast them or anything. It's so shallow. I'm probably just going to make more disturbance. I'm probably not going to give it much more time, about an hour or two, and then that's me done. Bit disappointing so far. I thought that I'd get a quick bite in this swim just because of past knowledge from here, and also I pre-baited it as well. I thought I'd get one, but it's been difficult. Apart from coots constantly diving on a spot, nothing's happening. It doesn't really bother me too much they're diving on a spot, as long as they don't pick up the rig. They did this morning, but first thing. But usually if they stop diving, then you know you're going to get a take. But they've kept diving, so clearly there's no carp there at the moment. I'm just hoping something happens before I have to go, and yeah. I haven't even caught a bream yet. That's what's weird about it as well. I've had loads, and I caught loads of bream last time, and I haven't had a single one yet. Yeah, so that's kind of alarming as well. I would expect to at least pick up one or two of those along the way. It's been hard for most places, even at Monks where I've been fishing. They've sort of shut down a little bit. They're not feeding as much. Everyone's catching the odd one or the odd two or something like that. It's just been a real struggle. Everyone has struggled, so there's no point in me going back there anytime soon. I'm going to give it at least another week on here before I even attempt to go back on there, just because they keep spawning. They keep just going for this period of time where they're just doing nothing. On here at the moment, just seem like they're not really around, or if they are around, they're not really feeding as well. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for now. I'm just going to keep going on here, then probably go back at Monks, and then just keep jumping between the two for now and trying to pick up as many bites as I can. So I'm going to keep going and see what happens on this session. I'm hoping, I'm crossing all my fingers, I'm going, come on, happen. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, they might arrive suddenly and I might get a bite, who knows. So yeah, so let's see. Well, that is the end of my second morning session at the Park Lake. Nothing to report, nothing happened. I did see something on the island. Thought there was a chance, but again, nothing happened at all, and it's been pretty miserable. No, joking, it's been nice and sunny, it's been really nice. Just nothing's happened, and I'll just keep pre-baiting and keep fishing. I'll be down next week to do some more fishing down here, definitely. Well, I'm back down on the Park Lake, and I'm also back in the same swim that I fished last time. The only reason I'm back in here is that when it's sunny and warm, they do come up here and sun themselves, and they also feed along the island. And yesterday I came down here just to have a little walk around, and as I walked past the back of this island, I saw 5 carp. Now, you can't actually fish from that side, but seeing carp there definitely gave me an encouragement to come back in here. I put the rods back in the same position as I did last time. The right hand rod I've put about 4 foot from the island. I've gone out as far as I can. There is a snag like about 3 or 4 foot right of it as well. Underneath the water there's a big rock and a big snag, so I can't go out too far from that island. Both of them on Ronnie rigs, on helicopter setups. That's on the Red Lobster wafter. Tipped off of sinking plastic corn just so I don't add any buoyancy to the wafter, and I've put in about a handful of boilies scattered around the area. I've had a coot dive on a few of them, but I'll keep topping it up. If he eats a few, that is, I'll definitely top it up. And the other rod is underneath the tree, exactly the same as what I did last time. The only reason it's back on that same spot is just because when I turned up in the swim I saw a massive crease right underneath it. And I did see something come up onto the surface and swim around the corner. Pretty much exactly the same as what I saw last time I was in this swim. So again, I put it back in that same spot just because there's encouragement there that there could be something that just fed on that spot, and maybe I'll get something on it. And that's on the same bay, on the red lobster wafter, tipped off plastic corn. The bottom baits I'm fishing with are the red lobster 15mm bottom baits. I wanted to match it as much as possible. When you're fishing into the summer, you want to be trying to match your hook bait. There's a lot more activity in the swim, there's a lot more creases and splashes and all sorts of things going on in the swim, more than last time. It's definitely more activity, giving me a much more higher sort of confidence on this spot especially. But definitely seeing the carp yesterday definitely gave me 100% encouragement that I'm gonna get something from this spot, so hopefully I do. Well, can you believe this? I've actually managed to get my first one from the Park Lake. I cannot believe it. It's only £9.5, not an absolute monster, but it's a good start anyway. I brought in my other rod so I could recast the other one back onto the same spot that I had this one from, which was on the island. And I managed to find a snag and lose the whole rig. So I've had to re-rig up and sort it all out, recast it, rebait it, so it's back on the spot, so hopefully I'll get another one. Yeah, I'm probably going to put both on the island now, just to try and get as many bites as possible. That's where I'm expecting to get the most anyway. So yeah, I'm going to put him back, and hopefully the next one's a little bit bigger. Let's see. Well, I managed to get another bite. Look at that. This one was £10. This common is absolutely a scrapper. Gave me a right old fight. But yeah, look at it. Stunning little common. Yeah, I can't believe it. Don't care how big it is at all. Honestly, I don't. It's amazing just to catch from the Park Lake. I knew it was going to be really tricky, but I've managed to do it. And I've managed to catch. Yes, that's really good. I'm going to get the rod back out and maybe we'll try and get one more before I have to leave. I've only got a couple hours left of my session, so let's see if I can get another bite before I have to go, because it's going to get really hot today, so I want to be off about 11 o'clock, so let's see what happens anyway. Yeah! Alright, let's get it back. Oh. Well, what an amazing morning session so far. I cannot believe this. I've had coots diving in me like crazy, and the first bite that I had, I honestly thought I had a coot on, and then I realised it was a carp. And yeah, it gave me a pretty good fight, that mirror. It went right round the corner and snagged me up, and I had to go and wade all the way along and find it and unsnag it, and yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare, that one. But the common, it just shot off into open water and came around really easy. It did give me a right old kick in, but it didn't go near any of the snags, which was really good. I keep saying it before, there's a big massive rock, and then literally just beyond that there's a massive branch that fell in from the tree that's on the island. You can kind of see the back of it, it sort of collapsed, and yeah, so there's a massive branch in there and a massive rock as well, which I thought it was going to get on, but last time I spoke about letting it go past. Before, I used to try and pull it away as quick as possible, but now I'm literally allowing them to have drag and letting them go past, and I think that's what's making me land them this time. Last time I did lose one or two doing that, so yeah, allowing them to go along and then pushing mountains over water. Definitely has worked. I've managed to land both of them as well, which is really good, really encouraging. It's just a brilliant start, brilliant start. I've done really good so far. I mean, it took me 5 or 6 sessions last time to even manage to hook one. So yeah, to get 2 is pretty good. I can build on this now. I know that at the moment they're here. I do think they're going to be here the rest of the week. It's meant to be hot all week. I know where they are now. Last time I found them here, and they were here for a very short period of time, and as soon as the temperatures changed and the weather changed, they disappeared. So at the moment they're here. I'm probably going to put some bait in before I leave. I might come down tomorrow and put some bait in, and then I'll give it one more session, morning session this week, and see what happens then. But for now, I've got an hour or so left. You never know, something might happen, and might get one more. But I'm happy with what I've got already. I think I've done brilliant for my 3rd session down here. So yeah, let's see if anything else happens. If not, I've done pretty good. Well, I did manage to get another bite, but unfortunately I managed to lose it on the island, and bit of a disaster at the end. But I had 2 that I landed, and sometimes you do lose them, so it doesn't matter too much. I've had a really brilliant morning session on here. It's absolutely gone crazy. I'm definitely going to come back to this swim. It's obviously doing really well at the moment. The carp are down here and they're enjoying it. So I'm going to keep pre-baiting. I'll be back down in about 2 days time to try for another morning session, so hopefully I'll get a few more bites and maybe even something bigger. You never know. I am finally back at the Park Lake. It's been a little while since I've been down here. Last time I came down I had a few stockies, a few of the small ones, and things were looking really good. I did plan to come back again, but then things got in the way and I couldn't come down, and then the park started getting really busy, so I thought back off, do some fishing somewhere else, come back. Yeah, and I'm back. Well, I came down yesterday and I pre-baited a few swims, 2 really, just in case someone ended up in one swim, then I could go to the other. But I picked the opposite end because I've been told that that's where you're going to catch an original carp, so I'm up here. It's quite a wide swim. It's big and open. It's nothing like the swims I was in before. Opposite one of the most busiest places in this park. There's a road on the other side, there's a wall, it gets so much traffic, there's always people walking up and down, there's cars, there's always people like feeding the ducks and the geese and everything on that side. So, but this side is pretty quiet most of the time. You get the odd person walking their dog, but that's about it on this side. It's pretty quiet. Now and then you do get people coming in, but overall it's much quieter. Which that's what I want, a bit more peaceful. It's probably going to be loud later, it's probably going to get suddenly people will be out, but at the moment I've come down early for a morning session again. Like I said, this swim's pretty wide. I have got a lovely tree down my margin as well to my right. It's also got a really nice big old willow on the far side, and I have been told that you can get carp off that spot, but it is a bit of a distance for cast, and I could cast it, but I don't think I can actually get the bait out there. So I'd have to come down and pre-bait on the far side and then come here and cast along. So that would be the challenge to do that. Maybe I might do that next time, I'll see about that. It depends on what happens on this session. To the right there's a nice hanging tree and it sort of sticks out quite a lot. That is where I've decided to place my right hand rod. I've got it not too close to it and not too close to the margin because it is rather shallow down there. It goes to about 1 foot to 2 foot. So I've put it in the 2 foot zone because I think that's a better little area, and I think I do think they're going to move out a little bit along there, but there is lots of snags along there as well, so putting it out a little bit more further gives me a little extra time to get to the rod and get it away. And my other 2 rods, I'm actually fishing about 3/4 of the way out, and you're probably going to think, why am I fishing 3/4 of the way out? I might as well fish on the other side. Like I said, it's really busy over there. There's a road right next to you. It's, yeah, I don't want all that, so it's nice and quiet here, and I can cast 3/4 of the way out, and it's lovely. There is some swims over the other side, and if anyone turns up and fishes them, then I'll back off a little bit. I can fish the middle, that's absolutely fine. But for now I want to fish 3/4 of the way, because I think that's probably going to give me the most chance of getting a bite at the moment. Is fish further along that side. Yeah, it's just easier from here, much quieter from here to cast out from here. All the rods are on helicopter setups on Ronnie rigs, and all the baits are red lobster wafters tipped off a sinking plastic corn. It's exactly the same as what I was doing last time I was down here. Same bait. I'm sticking with it. See what happens on this session. I do think there may be the odd bream I will catch. Most of the time when you fish in the middle, you do get bream on here. It doesn't matter how big your bait is. I fished with an 18mm bottom bait and 50mm topper, and I thought, yeah, that won't pick up a bream, and I got a bream instantly. So size is irrelevant. They're going to pick it up no matter what. They go to about sort of £8 in here, something like that. They used to be bigger bream, but I haven't seen one for a while anyway. Yeah, so we're not even bream, we're in for carp. And I'm also feeding the red lobster 15mm bottom baits over the top, a couple of handfuls down the margin, and I've also put a scattering of with a throwing stick out into the 3/4 zone. A few of them did land a bit short, so it does mean if I do have to bring it in halfway, then I've still got plenty of bait out there. I'll see what happens. Like I said, I did pre-bait, so I have given myself a little extra chance of getting a bite, but the morning is slipping away very fast already, so yeah, we'll see what happens. You never know, I might get something. Well, nothing's happened so far. I wasn't kind of expecting to get a bite straight away anyway. It's been about, I don't know, 2 hours or so with nothing, not even a bream so far. So so far that's a positive. I can take that one away with me. It just chucked it down with rain, and yeah, I was stuck in here under the brolly. And yeah, nothing's really happened. I wasn't expecting it to rain. I did check the weather report this morning, and it said nothing about rain whatsoever. It's going to be cloudy, sunny, it said. So yeah, that was wrong. But it seems to have passing now anyway, and it's looking promising. Probably only going to give it another hour or so, and then nothing happens, then I'll come down again in about a week or two and I'll have another session, but for now I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens. A couple of sessions ago I actually broke my rod, and the tip and a couple of the rings, the inner ring part, just fell out, and it kind of damaged it, to be honest, and I wasn't sure what to do. I did say I was going to buy new rods, and I did actually buy new rods. To be honest, I needed the excuse to buy new rods really, and that was the excuse to do it, so I done it. I've got Richwood 12-foot 3.5 test curve rods, pretty tough, but I needed the extra toughness, I think, because obviously fishing the park, there's a lot of snags, there's a lot more need to have high test curve rod, plus I've been fishing a few places that have had a few the odd snag. They haven't been that crazy, but I'm probably going to be fishing more and more waters with unknown snags, and I'm going to need the extra test curve to just get them away from it, and I might end up fishing weedy lakes as well, and I might need the extra test curve just to get them out of that. Oh no. So that again, I'll probably need the extra test curve just to get them out of the weed. I have got a 20-pound line on. I've always had 20-pound line on because I've never really needed to cast that far, and I needed the extra power of the line and strength to just try and bring fish out of snags. So I've lost too many fish in the past on 15-pound line or 18-pound line, so that's the reason I went up to 20-pound line. Lost fish in weed. I lost them in snags quite easily, so that's the reason I ended up fishing with 20-pound line. I think it's fox, the line I've got, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. But yeah, the new rods are lovely. They're really nice and easy to cast, and I'm enjoying them so far. They're really nice and light, and yeah, I've had a couple of fish on them so far, so I've christened them a little bit. But it'd be nice to get a nice one out of the park on them as well. That'd be even better. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer, and if nothing happens, then I wasn't expecting too much, but it would be nice to end with a carp on this little session, morning session, but we'll see. We will see. Well, that is the end of my morning session. I wasn't expecting a huge amount just because I've never really fished in this part of the lake before. I'm fishing for a lot more bigger carp now. Before I was fishing for most of the stockies in some areas that I knew I can get bites. But now I'm in an area where, you know, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, but they are bigger carp as well. The originals are mostly 20s and above, so that's what I was going to aim for. It's going to be tricky to try and catch one, but I'm definitely going to be down soon, and I'm going to be trying again and trying even harder to try and catch one of these originals. It's been a little while since I've come down here. Things have changed a lot though. It's not that easy anyway. It's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be hard. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I'm either going to do alright or I'm going to struggle and not catch much, but I'm going to give it a really good go. I'm pushing myself to try and get out more down here, so hopefully I'll be able to produce something decent anyway. Last video I said that I was after a 20-pounder, which are the originals in here. I'm still after that. I am going to try and catch as well. I don't mind if I catch a few doubles. You know, it's definitely going to get a bit more trickier, so anything will do. But if I do get that 20-pounder, which are the original ones, I would love it. I would absolutely love that. So we'll see what happens anyway. I've changed things a little bit since my last sessions down here. I've changed bait. I've changed to one rod to make it easier to come down and to drop into spots. I'm still doing morning sessions, by the way, so I'm only doing a morning session today, and then I'll come back as soon as possible. I'm going to try and string together as many morning sessions as I can in the whole of November, so we'll see what happens anyway on that. Put more effort in, maybe that might produce more carp, you never know. So for this morning session, I've actually come to a swim that I've actually caught on before. In my previous videos in the park, this is the swim that I've caught from. So I thought, make a start here, see if I can produce something from here, then I'll move on and try other spots again. You know, last time I did try something a bit different, but didn't produce anything. But I picked out a few spots down in the sort of deeper end, only slightly deeper, and maybe that might produce something a bit bigger, but for now I thought start on this spot, try and produce something straight away, and then maybe move on later on in my sessions, and hopefully then I might produce something a bit bigger, you never know. So like I said, I'm only fishing with one rod, so I've decided to cast that rod in the only spot on this swim that I've caught from, which is literally just off an island. It's about maybe 3 foot from the island. It is rather shallow, but it can produce carp, and it's a good spot. It's reasonably firm. It's a little bit soft around the edges of the island, but that spot is a little bit firmer, and I think that's why I've caught on it before. It's a bit hard to cast from this swim, so I have to undercast. So I have to sort of stand in front of this like tree at the front of the swim and just sort of flick it and do my best to try and get it on the spot. Just because there's hanging trees above and everything, so it does make it a bit more trickier. But yeah, you can get there eventually. Takes a few casts, but I'm happy where I am, happy with the spot. I'm on helicopter setup. I've also got Ronnie rig on as usual, as I normally do. But I've changed bait. It's an ocean fruit 15mm wafter, tipped off of a plastic corn. I've also gone for a different baiting approach. I've got 18mm ocean fruits. I've also got 15mm walnut and 12mm walnut. 3 different sizes and 2 different flavours. You know, might make a difference, you never know. I thought I might change things up and try something a bit different and see if it produces anything. You never know. I'm hoping to get a carp this morning. Let's see what happens, and hopefully it's something decent as well. Well, you look at that, an 18-pound mirror from the Park Lake on an ocean fruit wafter, tipped off a plastic corn. 2 minutes has been in, 2 minutes. I can't believe it. I did actually think I had a bream on. Turned out, no, it wasn't a bream, it was a carp. It was just really lazy. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to get him back. Wow, what an amazing carp that was. I can't believe it. What a brilliant start as well. Can't ask for more than that. 18-pound, pretty good, pretty good. Nice looking mirror as well. Not too sure if it's an original or not, I don't know. The stockies don't go that big, I don't think, unless it's putting a lot of weight. The reason I thought it was a bream is that I had a funny occurrence on the indicator, and it just went up and down, and I thought, it's just a line bite. Then I thought, oh, maybe it's a bream, and then it went again, so I picked it up, and yeah, it was just sitting on the spot. It was literally just sitting there, and I kind of moved it, it splashed, and then I thought, is that a big bream or is that a carp? And then yeah, then I noticed it was a carp, and I got overexcited, and I was like, okay, I better play it properly. Because you know, when it's a bream, you're just really in, thinking, oh god, I've got to reel this in. But yeah, I know how to play it safely, because I knew it was a decent carp, so pretty good. Yeah, things are looking good though. I'm expecting to get something else, but we'll see anyway. The moment I can take anything I'll get in this park. It's tricky, so yeah, catching is good. Mostly you do blanking, so yeah, it's good, especially when I'm doing only morning sessions. That makes it much more tricky to get bites. Obviously I'm not spending that much time here, but at least I'm pre-baiting, so that's giving me a little bit of a chance of getting something. But overall it is pretty tricky, so I'm going to keep going, and hopefully I can get something else today before I have to go. I'll give it a couple of hours and see what happens. Well, that's my morning session done. Pretty good, landed a nice 18-pound mirror. I'm really happy with that. About 3 or 4 minutes after I recast, after I had that bite, I managed to hook into another carp, but I managed to lose this one. It looked only about 10 pound. I saw it jump out. It managed to get into a really bad snag, which I just couldn't get it out at all. I tried everything. It was properly locked in, and eventually the line snapped and I lost it. Doesn't matter too much. That's what happens when you fish in a park with massive snags in the lake, and also massive rocks as well, which is always fun. So you do lose a few, but at least I landed the better one of the two, so I'm happy with that. I'm definitely going to be back down soon. I'm going to keep pre-baiting, I'm going to keep trying, hopefully try and get one even bigger as well. That'd be brilliant. But it would just be nice to keep catching from the park, so we'll see what happens. Well, I am back at the park. It's been about a week since I was down here last. I have been pre-baiting spots, but I just haven't been able to get down. I've been busy doing a few things, but now I'm not so busy. I've come back again, and I've come back in the same swim, because last time I did so well, might as well do one more session in here. It's been doing the bites for me, and I've actually seen people fishing from the opposite bank, and they've been catching as well. Every time I've come down to pre-bait, I've seen them catch. It just seems like this is the spot at the moment. I have been baiting some other spots as well, but I just haven't had a chance to go and fish them. If nothing really happens too much on this session, and maybe I get a little one or I don't get nothing, then I might move on and try another spot. But just because I caught so well last time, you know, I did lose one as well, so I did actually have 2 bites overall. And obviously I had the 18 pounder, which I'm still happy about as well, especially how hard it's been here. So I'm fishing the exact same bait as I did last time, the Ocean Fruit wafter, tipped off with a plastic corn. That's a sinking plastic corn, because obviously you don't want to add to the buoyancy of the wafter. And I'm doing the same baiting approach as well, so you know, just a mixture of different sizes and 2 different types of boilie. Yeah, things have done well for me so far, so I'm going to continue with it and see if it gets me any more bites anyway. If it starts working, then I might try something different, you know, but at the moment I'm happy to stick with that. Last time I came down it was really windy, and well, I've just had a take, and it felt like a reasonably decent carp, and the line snapped, so clearly it must have hit a rock or something sharp underneath the tree on the island in this swim, and yeah, 20-pound line straight off. Nothing you can do about it, I suppose. I'll just keep going. Yeah, I was about to say that the weather last time was absolutely terrible. It was really windy, it rained a little bit as well, but today is meant to be really sunny and nice, but a bit more colder. But I thought it looked like a better conditions for this swim, especially, I don't know why, but when it's sunny and reasonably warm, you do get more bites, and they do stay around this area much longer. But yeah, as I proved, they are still here and it still can be caught. Just got to try and land them. That's the problem at the moment. So yes, I am trying everything here to try and land them. Well, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get the rod back out, and hopefully there's another chance today. Let's see. Well, it's been a little while since I had that bite. The only thing I've had since then is I've had a couple of gulls come down and pick up the rig, which is great. It's actually really shallow up against the island. It's about 18 inches or so, and yeah, sometimes you do get gulls and ducks and coots and everything diving on it, eating the bait. I did have a few coots pick up a few baits, but they weren't too bad, but the gulls just come down and picked up my rig off the spot. Yeah, unusual, you don't normally get that, but as I'm fishing in such a shallow spot, yeah, it does happen. I have seen a few bubbles around back of the spot, but apart from that, nothing really. Could have easily been bream. Well, I don't think I'm going to give it much more time, probably another hour or so, but we'll see what happens. You never know, it could suddenly just go. It's been really tricky fishing the park. There's a lot of snags, there's a lot of massive rocks in the water and in the margins. Yeah, it's rather dangerous trying to play them. It's really hard to get them away from their little homes, especially up against islands or things like that. And the swim I'm in at the moment, there's actually 2 big branches in the water, so if the carp comes out from the island, it gets snagged in those, and if he goes towards the island, obviously he's going to get snagged up in this tree that's hanging down, and there's roots around there as well. So yeah, it's proper hard to get them out of this spot, but this is where they are, and this is where I'm definitely going to catch more from. So if nothing else happens, then I might try a different spot next time, maybe further down the lake, just to try something a bit different. But I'll see what happens anyway on this session, and I'm just hoping that I'll get one more bite before I have to go. Well, that's it for another morning session down in the park. Disappointing, but at least I managed to get a take, I suppose. I can take the positive on that one, and they're still feeding and I can still catch them. It is getting a lot colder. We're coming to the back of November. Yeah, I'm just glad I got a take. But I'm going to keep pre-baiting this spot, and I'm also going to pre-bait some other spots that I'm definitely going to try next. Definitely going to be back down soon, and hopefully I can land something then. Well, let's see anyway. Well, I am back down on the park lake. It's been a little while actually. I was meant to come down within a couple of days from the last session, and I ended up being a week, but busy doing things. But yeah, finally got back down, and I've put some pre-bait in the day before. But it's a lot colder now. I'm much colder. We are very close to December, so it's definitely getting a lot chillier, and yeah, it's going to make it a little more challenging. Well, this is actually going to be my last session, just because I've got things on in December, and January is normally cold, so I'll probably pick it up in February, and hopefully I have a reasonably decent early spring sessions down there. But it is challenging after all. But you know, you never know, it might be actually easier when they're a bit more, when they're waking up from that winter slumber. They might be easier to catch. Maybe I might be able to catch them from a few more spots. I've actually come back into the same swim I fished last time. I know I should have gone to a different spot, and I really wanted to, but I couldn't help it. There I go. Well, I've just been picked up by a gull. They're a bit lively this morning, and they've already picked up the rig. Oh, great. Usually when they pick up the rig, there's no chance of getting a carp at all, so that's really bad start. Last time when I reeled in, the hook was actually blunt, and I did get picked up at least once before I reeled in, so yeah, I'm hoping it's not blunt, the hook, now that it's been picked up. So like I was saying, I've come back in the same swim because I lost that fish last time, and I feel like that I need to come back and redeem myself and land one. And because it's my favourite spot on the whole lake really, because every time I come here I catch, and everywhere else I go it seems a blank. So you know, at least I'm going to give myself a better chance of getting one for the last session anyway. I've made 2 little changes. One, I've cast my rig a foot back than I normally would from the sort of tree that comes off the island there, and it's sort of collapsed in. And yeah, I've done that on purpose so I can get to the rod a bit more quicker, and they don't get underneath, because every time they get underneath they seem to snap me off on something. Most of the time I have landed them, obviously. But there is a snag to the right, and they might end up going in that. instead, so I've got to be a bit careful. I've also tightened up the drag system as well, because I don't really want to give them any line. I was giving them line last time because I wanted them to sort of go past the big snag that's in the middle, sort of to the right, and go between the snag and the island where the tree is, and go through there and then go out into open water, and I can be able to land them. But the last fish didn't do that. It sort of went in towards the island near where the tree is. So instead of actually going out into open water and missing the snag, it went straight into the island and tried to snag me up on something. So yeah, bit of a challenge in this swim to try and land them, but I'm going to have a go today and try and see if I can actually land one. I've got the same bait on as the last time, the Ocean Fruit Wafter, and I've got the same boilies and mix that I've got, which is the Ocean Fruit 18 mils, 15 mil all nut and 12 mil all nuts as well. So yeah, same baits, same everything, same rig. Keep the same, it's working, so I'll just keep going with it, and hopefully I'll catch something on this session. Well, I managed to get a bite. This one £11, only a small one, but it's absolutely freezing at the moment, and this carp's absolutely freezing as well. So I'm quite surprised that I've had one. If I've had one this quick, surely I'm going to get another one. So let's get him back, and hopefully I do. Yeah, it's just nice to catch. Well, I've just recast the rod, it's back in. Took me a few more casts than normal. It's so difficult in this swim casting with all the hanging trees and everything, and it's like round the corner slightly, so you have to sort of like do it on sidewards, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing ever, but yeah, I managed to get back on it. It took me 2 or 3 goes, but back on the spot. Still looks good for another bite. It looks pretty promising. Just had a goal, could dive down and pick my rig up again. I can't stop them. I think they're seeing the yellow plastic corn on top. I did see something when I actually turned up. It was slightly to the right, a bit more out into open water, but I didn't know if it was a bream or a carp or whatever, because I didn't actually see it. I just saw a big, like wake really, and I thought, oh, maybe something. But I wasn't sure. It was pretty cold, and I thought, is there going to be a bite? I mean, it's really shallow on the island, so is it going to happen? But I managed to catch one. I'm really happy with that. Only a small one, but it counts really as something landed after last time losing that one. That seemed pretty good actually. Looked quite decent. I did see its tail come up, and I was like, oh, that could be nearly £20. Then the lines are snapped. So yeah, still gutted about that one, but I managed to land one. I'm pretty good. I just want to say, if you're interested in Carp Basics bait and you want to have a go, I have got a discount code, 10% off any product. It's ECF10, my discount code. Yeah, check it out and check the website out if you're interested. Have a go. They're really good baits. I've had amazing carp on it. I've had PBs. I've had lots and lots of 20 this year on it. So it is a very high quality bait. As it's proved in the park, it's done me multiple bites in the park when it's really hard fishing, especially as how cold it is, and it's still working for me, and it's still doing the business. The Ocean Fruit is really good during the winter as well, and the Red Lobster is brilliant during autumn, and summer it's pretty good as well. It seems to have come into its own in the autumn more than the summer, I'd say. The All Nut did the best over the summer. But they're all good baits and they all do bites. You're probably thinking that I get the bait for free, so I'm just going to say anything and say the bait's really good, but it is really good. And you've got to check it out for yourself and try it out and see what it does for you. Well, I'm only going to give it another hour or so, but I'm sure there's a chance of getting one more. I'm sure there is. So yeah, let's see. Well, I did manage to get another one, but it's been really tricky down here, and obviously it's made it harder by the temperature dropping. Every single week it's been dropping a couple of degrees. It started off really mild and I thought it'd be really good, but as we're coming to the back end of November it's getting a lot colder and it's become a lot harder, but at least I've managed to catch. I'm really happy with that. I could have easily blanked on my last session, so yeah, I'm pleased. I probably won't be back until next year, probably early spring, so yeah, hopefully then I'll be able to catch that 20-pounder from the park, but for now I'm just happy with what I've caught, and hopefully I can keep catching in spring and maybe produce that 20, you never know.
Well, I said to you that I wouldn't be back until the spring, and I was planning that. I was literally going, right, I'm not going to go back until spring because that lake doesn't fish very well in the winter. But I actually managed to do a session a couple of weeks back. It got really cold and then it started to warm up a little bit, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and get back to the park, start putting some bait in, maybe get a session in early. That was the plan. So a week up to my first session, I actually trickled in a few bits of bait on the spot that I fished last time, the one I had the 18-pounder on all the other fish I've caught so far from the park. With a little bit of bait in every day, and I just thought I'd just keep it up and maybe I'll try maybe draw them in, or maybe they'll eventually come in on their own. But I wasn't sure. Like I said, I trickled a few bits of bait in over a week, kept it going, thought they'd be return, maybe eventually return, but the weather suddenly changed. It went really, really cold, and I still thought I'm gonna go. And yeah, it didn't work out very well. It was foggy, it was cold, it was miserable. I didn't have kettle with me, I didn't have anything with me at all. I was just standing there going, it's too cold, and I only did about an hour or two and just reeled in and went home. I couldn't stand it any longer. Probably was a bit ambitious to try and catch one in the winter on a spot that really only produces when it's warmer. But I thought I'd have a go anyway, and it didn't work out. So I gave it a week or two. Then I came back and started looking for a new spot. A couple of swims down from where I normally fish, there's another island. So I came down on the marker float, checked out the depth, just wanted to know what the depths were and you know what was out in front of me, if I could find any features or anything. Nothing really, a lot of rocks, big old boulders and everything, but no, nothing else. But I did find out that the island's quite deep. In front of the island's deep, and behind it did get quite shallow, but it was a nice little area, and I think that a slightly deeper area might be better, as well as it's quite cold still. I thought that'd be best. So I put a bit of bait in, and then ended up being busy for a little while, and I tried to get back. Then I had a Carp Basics social, so that had to happen. And it was important. And then I managed to finally come back, which is today. Technically this is like one of my first sessions really. I had that little couple of hour session morning where I froze my ass off, but yeah, apart from that, yeah, this is actually officially the first session. This is the area that I pre-baited, and this is the spot that I'm going to stick with for at least 1 or 2 sessions, and then I'll move on to somewhere else if I don't produce anything. Like I said, it's got an island. It's a tucked in island. It's to the right, it's tucked in, but there is enough water behind it and it is not too close to the bank. It's deep to the right of the island and then shallow to the left of the island. It's a bit weird, it sort of shallows up as you get closer to the bank. Goes all the way to 5 foot deep right in front of it, all the way to about 10 inches of water right behind it. So yeah, it does get really shallow. I've got the rods out. One has gone out in front of the island. Now I couldn't get too close to the front of the island because there's now an actual branch like sticking straight into water. I found out when I was doing a bit of leading around and doing the marker float that it sticks out a little bit more than you can actually see. It's just under the water, so you have to like go as close as you can. It's about 5 foot off from the island. You can't get closer than that, otherwise you just get snagged up. Yeah, okay. You know, it's not as close, but it's 5 foot deep, nice and deep, and it's just off on the island, so it's always a chance, isn't there? That one's on a helicopter setup, on a Ronnie rig. and that is on an ocean fruit wafter tipped off on plastic corn, single plastic corn. That's what I had my 18-pounder on, and I'm going to stick with that. Even though it's still winter, I'm going to stick with that. And the other one is actually to the right of the snag, closer in. So it's on the front side of the island, basically on the inner side of that snag, about 2 foot short of the island. It's about 4 foot deep there. The more right you go, the more shallow it is. So I wanted to stick to as close as possible to that sort of 3 to 4 foot depth, really. That's what I was after. I don't really want to go too right than that. That one's as close as I can get it from getting it snagged up as well. So, yeah. Also, I've had to fish locked up on that one, just in case it goes into that snag. And that one is on a lead clip, on a Ronnie rig, and I've got a red lobster wafter tipped off plastic corn. Now that's a bit crazy, really, going for red lobster in winter, but it's got a colour to it, it might stand out, and it's a bit different as well. Because the bait that I'm actually feeding over the top and I pre-baited with is mostly ocean fruits. That's ocean fruit 18mm and 15mm, but I've got 15mm all nuts in there as well. So mixed sizes, one because the birds try and dive in and attack everything. Yeah, I have problems with ducks, coots, gulls and everything in this lake, so yeah, that's the reason I went for those. And the swans, so yeah, that makes it a whole lot worse. But at least it's slightly deeper here, so they're less likely to pick it up as much. But I like to have mixed sizes. I think it's a bit different, not everyone does it, so I thought definitely stick to it at the moment. It worked for me last time. So yeah, pretty good. It's looking really, really good. It was actually looking even better, but then it started raining, and yeah, I had to wait quite a bit until it stopped. But now it looks okay. Weather is improving. It's much warmer than it has been recently. The only problem is yesterday night it was -3, so you know the chance of me catching it is very slim. But it's mild now, and it looks really good. I've had one indication, so that could be promising. Yeah, so I am going to give it a couple of hours, see what happens, and then decide if I'm going to stay a little bit longer or not. But for now, I'm happy. It's looking good. It's looking promising. I've got a new spot, so let's see what happens. Hopefully, I'll catch something. Be brilliant, wouldn't it? First session out, catch something. Forget about that last session. I didn't do it. Well, let's see anyway. See if I catch something. Well, I haven't caught anything. It's my first proper session and nothing happened. I wasn't expecting huge amounts to happen anyway. It is still winter. I've got at least a week before it's spring. But I'm definitely going to put some bait in before I leave, and I will continue putting bait in up towards my next session, and hopefully by the time it warms up and a little bit of bait has been presented on that spot, hopefully I'll catch then. So let's see if I do. I'll definitely be down in a week's time. Maybe it'll happen then. Well, as you see, I am back in the park. Last time I said I'll be back in a week, and yeah, it didn't happen. It's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks possibly. I've lost track. Yeah, it's been pretty busy. I was actually editing a Carp Basics video together, a vlog, but after catching up with all of my stuff, finally I'm back down. Obviously it's been a while. It's now officially spring. Yay. Doesn't feel like spring this morning. It's absolutely freezing cold. I'm really, really cold at the moment. But yeah, last time I said also that I would go back to the same swim, and I haven't. I've actually changed swims. I've actually come down to my spot that I've caught on before, which is a couple of swims further down. basically the end of the lake, up against an island. There's also a river around the corner that comes in and it pushes flow in here, and sometimes when you've had a lot of wet weather and then a lot of sunny weather, they all come down here and feed on all the bits that come from the river, so it is a good spot. But obviously last time I said I would go back to that other swim, and I probably might do, you know, it's possible. If I don't catch here, then I might go back to that swim, because I did pre-bait it for a little while, and I'm disappointed I didn't get anything last time, but I wasn't expecting too much straight away. I mean, it's the first time I've ever really fished that swim properly. I fished it once before, but it didn't, you know, I was only there for like an hour or two. So last time I gave it a good go and nothing happened. I do mostly morning sessions here. It's pretty much terrible during the day, apart from the mornings. You've got to get here really early. You can do nights on here, but I don't really like doing nights in the park. It's yeah, not my kind of thing. I've done it before and I never liked it. Prefer just doing the mornings, it's easier, and also I can pull it around my schedule a bit more, as I'm always editing. It just gives me a bit more time to do that. Yeah, so like I said, I'm back in the swim that has done me many bites before, and I've also lost a lot of carp in here before as well. I'm doing a similar thing I've done before. I've cast one rod just off the island, a couple of feet from the island, probably, I don't know, 3-4 foot, something like that. You don't want to go too close because it's really, really shallow up there. I did actually come down and put a micro float on it, just for a bit of a laugh to see how deep it was, and yeah, the micro float hit the top within a second of hitting the bottom, so it's not that deep. It's probably about, I don't know, 14-15 inches on there, which ain't much really. What was that, like a foot and a bit? It's pretty shallow. Also, I found out something on that island. There is actually a bar of rocks on either side, so yeah, that explains why I keep getting my hooks dinked on there. Every time I reel in, I go, why's my hook flat? Yeah, I didn't realise there were so many massive rocks in between. Yeah, that's probably why I get snapped off as well on here. It's pretty savage. Yeah, so I've put it a couple of feet from the island, and I'm trying to keep it into a sort of slightly deeper section of the water, away from those bars, because it's really shallow on those, like a couple of inches on top. That's on a lead clip with a Ronnie rig, and on that is ocean fruit, exactly the same as what I was using last time. The ocean fruit wafters are pretty good. I've done really well on the ocean fruit on that spot, so that's the reason I'm sticking with that. I'm pretty much doing the same thing as I did last time bait wise, just the wafters, tips off plastic corn, one on red lobster, one on ocean fruit, nothing complicated about it, just keeping it very simple, what I've caught on before and just sticking with it really. There's also one thing about that island is that I've lost a lot of carp on it, and I've played around with things, either let it have drag or not let it have drag, and you know, trying to play around to see what makes me lose less fish. If I let it have drag, it'll go through where the branches are on the island and there's rocks under there, and I get snapped off most of the time. But if I don't let it have drag, it also does me in a snag that's out in the middle of the lake, so again, it's savage. So I found the solution: lock it up, stop it from going into them trees and rocks, but then have to steer it round the snag in the middle of the lake and hope it does come round it. Yeah, it can be a bit hard. But also the other one, the other rod I've got out, normally I fish one rod in here, but I've decided to go for two just because it's still not the greatest fishing. Spring can be really good, but we're so early in spring, I feel like two rods is going to give me more opportunity to just try other spots in the swims. Yeah, that one is literally the right of the snag that's in the middle of the lake. I've gone about 5 foot out from it. They do tend to move out into that open water just behind where that snag is, and they sun themselves. So if the sun comes out enough today, which is meant to, you know, never know, it might work. It might be a spot. It is actually a little bit deeper there though. So if they sun themselves, they could be a couple of feet away from the rig. It is about 3 to 4 foot there, so unless they're feeling in the feeding mood after sunning themselves, then I might get something out there, but it's always worth trying there. And I've got a goose that won't shut up. Shut up! Wait! The one in open water is on a helicopter setup on the Ronnie rig, and that is on the Red Lobster. So yeah, like I said, I've got 2 different baits out there. I am hoping that I'm going to get one today, but it is going to be difficult because it's cold this morning. Really cold. It's probably the coldest morning we've had so far in the last sort of week or 2. And the warmer weather came in, and I should have been down here, and I could get down, so you know. But it does look good. There's nice carpy mist on the lake. Looks really carpy, so carpy. Looked awesome this morning. Freezing cold, but it looked amazing. Yeah, I'm hopeful, but only time will tell, and we will see if I get anything. I've got the carp. Well, I managed to get myself a bite. £11 common on the ocean fruit off the island. It looked really terrible, nothing was happening, I saw no signs. Well, I was only going to give it 10 more minutes, and then suddenly it all started looking good, and then yeah, got one. Can't believe it. I know it's only a small one, but I'm really happy. It's been difficult the last couple of sessions on here, and giving it a little extra time, maybe the warmer weather coming in, spring arriving, maybe it's kicked them on, and hopefully I'll get a few more in the next couple of sessions. Well, I'm going to get him back, and I'm going to pack away. At least I've managed to catch something on this session. I'll be down in a couple more days, and hopefully I'll catch even one even bigger. We'll see anyway. Yeah, let's get him back. As you can see, I'm back in the park. It's been more than a couple of days. Like I said in the last video, I was going to come down, and then it's been about a week. You know, things happen, editing gets in the way and other things, so, but I'm back again, and it's looking promising this morning. It's a lot warmer than it was last time. It's looking so much better. I keep looking out because I keep seeing bubbles and activity out there. It's looking all good. Doesn't mean the carp fishing is going to be any good, but we'll see about that anyway. It's looking better. You know, last time it didn't look so good. The sun came out, it did look really good, like the last sort of hour or so, and then it just came together in the end. You know, I caught that one, so let's hope I can do it on this session as well. I'm doing nothing different on the island spot, same bait approach, everything exactly the same. It's even in the same spot as well, which is brilliant. First cast as well, pretty good. But the other one I've changed slightly. It's got the same rig, same bait and everything, but I've gone out a bit more right. I've gone out into open water a lot more. I saw a lot of activity out there when I first turned up. I thought, might as well pull it out there, see what happens. You know, you never know, it might pay off, but I just thought I'd try something different on that one. Like I said, I normally only fish one rod in this swim, and I just thought, yeah, I'll go for 2. You know, stick with it, it might work, it might pay off. Every time I see something different, every time I see something that I can exploit, then I will try with the extra rod. I am confident on the island spot. Yeah, coming back to this swim definitely helped me last time, that's why I'm back again, and you know, hopefully I can pull out something on this session, but we'll see anyway, we will see. him in. Well, I've just weighed it, 14.5 pounds. I'm happy with that. They're getting bigger very slowly, but they are getting bigger. I can't believe it. Another bite. This one on the open water spot as well. My first bite from open water. I can't believe it. On the red lobster, on the wafter. Yeah. First bite on the red lobster for a while in this lake, and first one from open water. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. Completely happy with that. Yes. Right, it's getting back and getting rods back out. I actually brought the other rod in because I was a bit worried it was going to go off while I was dealing with this fish. So I want to get both of them back on the spot, and hopefully we'll get another one. Hopefully we do anyway. It's getting back. Yeah. Oh, what a great start. I'm really happy with that. Things were looking promising. It was looking really good on the island spot. There was bubbles coming up. I was seeing little, little wakes and things just behind the area, and I thought, yeah, it's gonna go. I even saw literally about, I don't know, probably about 10 or 20 minutes before I got that take, I saw a load of activity over my rig on the island, and I thought it's gonna go, and nothing happened. I set up the camera ready for a take as well. I knew it was gonna happen. And then the other rod went off. Absolutely crazy. I did not expect that at all. Just seeing those bubbles this morning out in the open water, I just thought might be bream, I just thought have a go. And it paid off. I can't believe it. It's worked. I'm shocked, absolutely shocked. That was on the red lobster wafter, tipped off plastic corn. I always tip them off for corns. It just gives it extra visualness to it, especially in spring. It works even better as well, because I think they just set yellow little sighter and just take it. But yeah, pretty good. I'm really happy with that. I actually put quite a bit of bait over that spot as well, a lot more than I was putting on the other spot. So I've actually topped up the other one, as they're active and they're feeding. So I put a bit more bait on the other one. I've recast both of them. They've both gone back into the same sort of spots. On the other rod, when I just, like I said, I just chucked it out over something that I saw. Now I've had a bit more of a time to think about where it is and a bit more chance to recast and sort of tell what's there. I actually know that it does drop off a little bit deeper there as well, so it's just in the deeper water as well, which is unusual because we're in spring. You think the shallow water would work, but they seem to have come along the deeper, where it goes between sort of shallow and deeper section. It drops away to about 4 foot there. It goes all the way from 2 foot in front of me, then it goes out to 3 foot, just maybe like a rod length or 2 out, then it goes to 4 foot. Where my rig is, and there is actually a drop off like right behind where my leader is as well. It drops down to about a foot drop, and it's like a little shelf section as it comes down, and that's where it is, and that's where it went off. So clearly they're moving up and down and patrolling that little trough area. Maybe they think there's naturals in there, I don't know. Maybe it's a natural area they will go up and down. I've tried it before and I've had nothing. In the past I've had lots and lots of bream, and I got so bored with it I ended up not fishing there at all just because of the bream. But I haven't actually had the bream for ages, so I was confident enough that I wasn't going to get one, but then I got a carp. Pretty good. Yeah, 14.5, I'm happy with that. It's not the biggest one in here. I've had bigger, but the originals is what I'm after. And they may just not be in this area, I don't know, but this is the only area I can get bites in, and I'm just hoping that one comes along. They range from anything sort of £20, maybe mid-20. I've heard a few rumours that some bigger carp in there, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, I don't see them, so I don't know. I'm going to give it another hour or two, see what happens. Hopefully I'll get something else, but we never know. Might just kick off. I'm just happy that I've had one, but we'll see if anything else happens. Well, I didn't manage to get another bite, but I'm happy with the one I've had. It's pretty good, I'm happy. It's all I can say. After I cast the rods back out, put more bait in, about half an hour later, the wind just got up and he looked dead. I saw no activity whatsoever. The park started getting busy. I could hear people shouting and yelling, dogs barking, all sorts. So yeah, it's definitely getting busy in the park. But for the fishing side, it sort of slowed down. It usually slows down as you get further and further into the morning. The earlier the better, really. But as it's been quite cold, it hasn't been the greatest. I'm definitely going to be back down soon. I have got a week at Yateley before I can come back down, doing a long session on there, so you know, got to focus on that. But I'm going to be back when it's going to be hot. According to the weather report, it's going to be close to 20 degrees by then, so it's going to be nice and warm. Hopefully one of those sessions, they come down here in big numbers and I can get a few, and hopefully one of them is an original. That'd be really good. So we'll see then. We will see. Well, I literally only a couple of days ago got back from my Yateley session, 4-nighter, and yeah, it went particularly great. It was an hard one, and finally got to the park. In the last video I said that it was meant to be 20 degrees by now, and we barely got 16, and the temperature's now just dropped right down to like 12, so it's now much colder than it has been. It's freezing this morning as well, went down to about 1 degree last night, so it's cold this morning. So yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm freezing, my hands are cold. I thought it was maybe 20 degrees by now, nice and warm, you know, chilling out, relaxing, getting the rods out, you know, lovely. It's not really, it's cold, miserable, and yeah, it's not great. Well, I was meant to come down yesterday, and he absolutely chucked it down in the morning, and I ended up not going, and I now regret that I didn't go yesterday. I would have been soaked, but I would have got down here. Oh! Oh no! He did come. No! Oh, what the? I think he's come off. No! You got to be kidding me! Well, I was not expecting that. No, I can't believe that. I just had a bite and lost it. I didn't get it snapped off. He just managed to shake it off, and the whole rig went in a snag. So that was good. I enjoyed that. I literally about to say I regret not coming down yesterday because the weather looked better. It was warmer, and today was colder. Plus, the water is now really chocolatey, and because the river around the corner is literally pumped in loads of chocolatey, horrible water right into it, and it looks horrible at the moment. And there's a flow going around the corner, and it's pushing my lines as far as it can go, like right over there. My lines are like literally pointing right in the opposite direction, and I thought, hey, it looks terrible. I'm not going to get a bite. It's just gone off, and I've lost it. No, I hate that. It does happen in the park. I mean, there's lots of snags and rocks and all sorts of things, and that carp clearly got rid of it. He clearly just managed to ditch it. It's probably because he was right near the snag. He sort of jumped up and must have used that to, you know, get rid of the rig. Oh well. I fished in the same spot as I did last time, and the other one I've literally just put out in the open water where I had that bite last time. Nothing different, still on the red lobster. So keeping to the same tactics, and I've just lost one, so I'm going to get the rig back out straight away. Hopefully I'll catch again, because it's actually really early to get a bite, so I'm going to get back out. Hopefully there's another chance, but I was not expecting that. I've seen no activity whatsoever out there. I've seen nothing, and it's just gone off. What a gutter. Right, I'm going to get the rod back out, and hopefully I'll get another bite. Let's see. So give you a quick update what's been happening after I lost that carp. Now I recast, I put more bait in and it went off again. Went straight out into the snag, out into the middle. Now normally you can see the snag and I can avoid it and I can sort of, you know, judge it. But the water's come up, I can't see it at all. Couldn't quite tell where it was gonna get to it, like in the water. And then it managed to go around it, couldn't get it off. The fish managed to get it off the rig, but the rig was still stuck in the snag, lost it. It looked like a decent one as well. I'm pretty happy with it if I had landed it. I had to snap it off. I lost the rig, and then the other rod went off, the one out of open water. That one went screaming off, and it didn't seem that big, but I was just happy to try and land something. Got it all the way in close, and then it went under a tree to my right, and the hook pulled. So, yay, great, I really enjoyed that. This park is so brutal, I've lost so many fish in this lake, it's ridiculous. The good thing is I haven't had any bream, which is really, really good, because they're normally an absolute plague in here, and I just haven't had a single one, which is really good. I've tried really hard over this campaign. I wish I could have done a few more sessions, but oh well, at least I tried really hard. This year I've tried even harder to try and catch something better, and one of the originals is what I was after. That's what I came here for. They're really nice, really dark, 20-pound upper 20s, that sort of size, and I was after them, but there doesn't seem as many as I thought there might be, and it's difficult and it's hard to fish in this park. At the moment it's got really busy, loads of people walking their dogs, loads of people shouting and so it gets really busy. In the morning is the only time I can get bites in here, and I've struggled and I've tried, and sometimes I've worked it out and managed to catch, and you know, it's better than nothing, but it's been brutal, it's been hard, and I've tried really hard. That's all you can do. That is it for the campaign. The park is actually closed next month, and then on top of that, my tickets run out, so I'm not going to renew. I'm just going to fish somewhere else. I think I'm just going to call it quits in the park. I've tried really hard. Okay, I didn't get what I wanted, but at least I caught a few carp along the way. I'm happy anyway. So all I've got to say is thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.